This is Chris Videos. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Videos, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. And I'll be down there in the description box. And I'm here to do my WWE Monday Night Raw, February 27th, 2023 reviews. So here we go, discussing about tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. Now we kick off the show with one half of the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa, the Bloodline. So yeah, they make their way down to the ring. Jimmy Uso was talking on the mic, talking about how he's been seeing online that everybody's been talking about how the Bloodline gets cracks in the group and all that stuff, but he says it ain't true. They're all good and everything is just, Sami Zayn trying to stir up the pot and everything. He said that Jey Uso always have his back and he'll always have Jay's back and all that stuff, and then what happened on SmackDown and stuff. So yeah, that's what he was talking about, but then he says that him and his brother Solo Sikoa is out there and they're ready for a tag team match tonight. And then all of a sudden, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, the Street Profits, comes out accepting that tag team match. And then Montez Ford was making fun of, he goes there's Jimmy, there's Solo, where's Jay? And then talking about, is he backstage? And he was like, nope, he ain't backstage. Is he in the crowd? Nope, I don't see him in the crowd. He goes oh, wow, your brother ain't here with you. So it looks like there is cracks within the bloodline. So yeah, that's what Montez Ford was talking about. And then Jimmy was talking about, well, come on then, let's get this tag team match underway. And then we get the tag team match. It was Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa versus the Street Profits in the tag team match. And it was a pretty good match. It was going back and forth and everything. Solo Sikoa holding his own during this match and everything, which was pretty good. We get to the very ending where we see Angelo Dawkins picking up Jimmy Uso in the electric chair position. Montez Ford climbs up the top turnbuckle, about to hit the super blockbuster onto Jimmy Uso, up until Solo Sikoa comes up, pushing Montez Ford off the top turnbuckle outside of the ring and stuff. And then Jimmy Uso gets off of Angelo Dawkins' shoulders, pushes him to Solo. Solo hits a super kick onto him. He picks up Angelo, hitting the Samoan spike onto him, pinning him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa defeated the Street Profits tonight in a tag team match. That's what happened. But then, after the tag team match ended, Montez Ford gets in the ring checking on Angelo Dawkins. But then they started attacking Montez Ford, beating him down, and they throw Angelo out the ring and stuff. And then they grabbed a steel chair, wrapped it around his head. Solo Sikoa about to hit that hip attack onto him to take him out as well. But then all of a sudden, as soon as Solo runs to Montez Ford, Kevin Owens gets in the ring, hitting a super kick onto Solo Sikoa, taking him out. Jimmy Uso gets in the ring. He gets hit with a stunner, and then Solo quickly gets back up to his feet, but Kevin Owens already got out the ring, and the Street Profits was saved. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff. For the match and what happened after the match, I'll give it all 3.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was pretty good stuff. So yeah, that's what I'll give it. Great stuff right there. But then after that, we see MVP at Omos backstage. MVP was talking about how he's hosting the VIP lounge up next with Brock Lesnar to see if Brock Lesnar would accept Omos's WrestleMania challenge. So yeah, that's what he said, and that will be up next. But yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, we get to the next segment, but before I talk about that, I forgot to mention, right off the very start of Monday Night Raw, we actually see Becky Lynch and Lita pulling up to the arena walking backstage. So yeah, I forgot to mention that part, when I was talking about the match, or whatever, that kicked off Raw. So yeah, that's what I forgot to talk about. But then we get to the next segment, it was Brock Lesnar. He comes out, and the VIP lounge is already set up, so he comes out before MVP, and he starts talking. He calls out MVP. MVP comes out, and but he's scared to get into the ring with Brock Lesnar because he thinks that Brock Lesnar's going to be laying him out with some German suplexes at the end. And Lesnar, he actually goes okay, I promise I will not, hit no German suplexes on you in the ring or anything. And MVP was like, well, since you're saying that, I'll take your word on it and I'll get into the ring. So yeah, MVP gets into the ring, and Brock Lesnar was talking about how you want me to face Omos at WrestleMania and all that stuff. And MVP was talking about, yeah, I want you to face Omos at WrestleMania, because he says that, you try to face Bobby Lashley and stuff, but you ended up losing, couldn't break out the Hurt Lock or anything, but you can't toss around a over 400-pound giant that's over 7 feet tall. You cannot toss him around like any other men and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what he was saying. And Brock Lesnar was like, okay, how about this? Hype up the fight. And then MVP starts hyping it up and everything. And then, so yeah, MVP's hyping up the fight and everything, and Brock Lesnar was like, okay, here, I accept the challenge. So yeah, WrestleMania, and let me do it better than you because I know I can. At WrestleMania, me, Brock Lesnar, versus Omos, one-on-one, and MVP in his corner at WrestleMania. And MVP was like, yeah, I like that. And Brock Lesnar was like, okay, cool. Well, here, how about this? Let's have a toast for tonight and toast on, about the match and everything happening at WrestleMania. He goes like, and MVP was like, okay, but I don't want to drink. I don't feel like drinking or anything. And Brock Lesnar was like, no, we got to have a toast. And then he just pulls out a flask and he drinks out of it and all that. And he passes it to MVP. MVP was like, what's this? And Brock Lesnar was like, it's something from my hometown, and it's called White Lightning. Try it out. And MVP tries it out, and he don't like it. He accidentally spits it up on Brock Lesnar. Lesnar, you can tell he's starting to get a little bit mad. MVP tried to clean him up and stuff with like a handkerchief, but Lesnar grabs a handkerchief, starts wiping his face and everything, puts the flask up, and then he blows his nose onto it, and then he puts it right into MVP's suit, and then instead he shakes MVP's hand, lifts him up on his shoulders, and hits him with the F5. He promised him not to hit any German suplexes onto him, but he hit the F5 anyways. So yeah, that's what Brock Lesnar did. He laid out MVP. But, yep, and he'll be facing Omos at WrestleMania. So, yeah, that match is now made official. And then after that, we see Kathy Kelly interviewing Becky Lynch and Lita. They was somehow they are going to win the women's tag team championships and stuff tonight. So, yeah, that's what they was talking about, and that they're happy about it and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's what they said. But up next, we're going to be seeing Cody Rhodes versus Chad Gable one-on-one later on up next. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So, the next thing to happen on Monday Night Raw, it was a one-on-one match. It was Cody Rhodes versus Chad Gable with Otis at ringside in a one-on-one match. So, yeah, Chad Gable versus Cody Rhodes one-on-one, and it was a pretty good match. It was going back and forth and everything. Really, really good match. Go check it out if you haven't yet. At one point, we see Cody Rhodes hit the disaster kick onto Chad Gable. He pins him, but Gable barely kicking out at 2. And then he was trying to hit like another disaster kick onto Gable, but when he jumps off the second rope, he gets caught in the air with a German suplex from Chad Gable, and Gable hit the bridge onto him as well, getting a 2 count. Rhodes barely kicking out. Gable lays him out, climbs up the top turnbuckle, hits a moonsault onto him, pins him, but he kicks out at 2 again. And then we get to the very ending of this match where we see Chad Gable outside the ring. Cody Rhodes takes him out, throws him into the ring, and then he was messing around with Otis. Cody Rhodes was. Otis gets mad, starts chasing after Cody. Cody moves out the way. Otis goes over the barricade, taking himself out. Cody Rhodes quickly gets into the ring, jumps off the top rope with the Cody Cutter onto Chad Gable, lifts him up, hitting Crossroads onto him, pinning him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Cody Rhodes defeated Chad Gable tonight in a one-on-one match. That's what happened. Really good match. For that match, I'll give it 3.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. A great match between Cody Rhodes and Chad Gable. But then, after the match ended, Cody Rhodes grabbed the mic and he says that him and Roman Reigns has not been in the ring yet at all. But he says that he will be on SmackDown this Friday, since Roman Reigns will be on SmackDown. So yeah, it has been announced that Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns will be on Friday Night SmackDown this Friday. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening. But then after that, we see Byron Saxton interviewing Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin was talking about how he didn't need JBL and all that stuff. But then he gets interrupted because Byron Saxton sees Kevin Owens. He goes up and starts interviewing him. And Kevin Owens was talking about how he's going to make sure that he gets rid of the bloodline and take them all down. So yeah, that's what Kevin Owens said. But yeah, pretty good stuff. That's what happened there. Great stuff. But yeah, later on tonight in the main event, it will be Damage Control versus Becky Lynch and Lita in a tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a one-on-one match. But before I talk about that match, we got to talk about a segment backstage where we see Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley, the Judgment Day backstage. And pretty much Dominic Mysterio was talking about how he's going to go to SmackDown with his mommy, Rhea Ripley, where Rhea Ripley will be she'll be facing Liv Morgan, and she'll be at ringside with her, and that he will go see his deadbeat dad. So yeah, that's what Dominic Mysterio said. Rhea Ripley was talking about how she's going to beat Liv Morgan this Friday and go to WrestleMania and beat Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And then Finn Balor pretty much sets out a challenge for Edge at WrestleMania. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff. But then we get to the next match. It was Asuka versus Carmella one-on-one, and Carmella really has improved in the ring. No lie about that. She actually really have improved in the ring. It was a pretty good match. It was going back and forth and everything. At the ending, we see Asuka on the top turnbuckle. She jumps off trying to hit like a missile drop kick onto Carmella, but Carmella moves out of the way, and Asuka pretty much crash and burn. And then Asuka gets hit with a super kick by Carmella. Mella pins her. 1, 2. Asuka barely kicking out. 2. It was going for near falls and stuff, like Asuka was rolling up Carmella and stuff like inside small packages and stuff like that. But then at one point we see Carmella actually trying to lock on the Code of Silence onto Asuka. Asuka fought out of that, rolling her up for a pin, but then reverse that pin into that submission hold with the arms, the Asuka lock, making her tap out. So yeah, Asuka defeated Carmella tonight on Monday Night Raw. That's what happened. But then after the match ended, Asuka grabs the mic, calling out Bianca Belair. And then the Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair, makes her way down there, gets face-to-face with Asuka. Tomorrow, I am the EST WWE, and there would never be an EST without WrestleMania in there or whatever. So yeah, that's what she said, and she'll be seeing Asuka at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. And while they was face-to-face, Carmella comes up, pushing Asuka into Bianca Belair, taking them both out. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff. For the match between Asuka and Carmella, I gotta give it 2.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good match between those two women. So yeah, pretty good stuff. But yeah, later on tonight we'll still see The Miz hosting Miz TV later on tonight, and not only that, the Women's Tag Team Championships will be defending the main event. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, actually, before that Asuka and Carmella match, we actually had a segment backstage with Otis running into the Maximum Male Models, and Maxine Dupree was talking about how Otis got the strength and all that, and he should be in the match tonight and all that stuff, and Otis said, alright, he'll go find Adam Pearce and talk to him about a match. So yeah, forgot to mention that segment. But yeah, that's what happened there. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a one-on-one match. It was Piper Niven versus Candice LeRae with Nikki Cross at ringside. So yeah, here we go breaking down this match. So what happened was Candice LeRae makes her way down. Nikki Cross popping her head around the corner and decides to come out with Candice LeRae and stuff. We get the match underway. It was a pretty good match between those two women, somewhat going back and forth and everything. Piper Niven was taking control, takes out Candice LeRae outside the ring, throws her back into the ring. Nikki Cross was trying to run at Piper Niven, but Piper Niven grabs her and slings her into the barricade. She gets back into the ring. Piper Niven is distracted by Nikki Cross. Candice LeRae rolls her up for the 3 count. So yeah, Candice LeRae defeated Piper Niven tonight in a one-on-one match. That's what happened for that match. I'll give it 2 stars. That's what I'll give it. But then, after the match ended, we see Byron Saxton interviewing Johnny Gargano backstage, and Johnny Gargano was talking about how Otis was backstage looking for a challenge or whatever, and he accepted it. So yeah, he'll be taking on Otis one-on-one tonight, since Otis beat him a few months ago. So yeah, that's what Johnny Gargano said. But then he gets interrupted by Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley, the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day was talking. Damian Priest was talking about how he was the one that eliminated Johnny Gargano in the Elimination Chamber match and all that stuff. And Finn Balor was talking about how Johnny Gargano can never beat him in a one-on-one match. And Gargano was like, okay, how about this? Me and you one-on-one next week. And Finn Balor accepts. So yeah, it looks like next week on Raw we will see Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano one-on-one. And that match would damn sure be a pretty good one right there. But yeah, looks like later on tonight, Johnny Gargano will be taking on Otis one-on-one. So yeah, that match will be happening later on tonight. And not only that, we still got the Women's Tag Team Championships being defended in the main event later on tonight. And we got The Miz hosting Miz TV as well. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. See you guys later until then. So the next thing to happen on Monday Night Raw, we have The Miz come out hosting Miz TV, and he said he got some big news because of what Maurice gave him last week, which was an envelope, and he opens it, and then he finds out that he is the host of WrestleMania this year. That's what he was saying. He says that his special guest tonight on Miz TV is himself and everything. That's what he was saying. He goes like, this is going to be the biggest WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania 39, where we got matches like Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. So yeah, he was just naming off some matches up until he gets interrupted by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins comes out, and Miz gets very upset about Seth Rollins coming out because of what Seth's been doing to him. He says that he's tired of seeing Seth Rollins' face because of what Seth Rollins did to him 3 weeks ago by laying him out with the curb stomp with those big red boots, and then laying him out with 3 curb stomps last week and everything in their match. So yeah, that's what Miz was getting tired about. And Seth was like, look, I'm not out here to ruin your whole parade or anything. I just want you to call Logan Paul for me. FaceTime Logan Paul for me. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I really want. And Miz was like, oh, that's all you really want? And then the fans chanting, yes, yes, and stuff like that. Pretty much want him to FaceTime Logan Paul. And Miz was like, nope, screw that. I ain't FaceTiming Logan Paul for you. And then all of a sudden Seth Rollins had enough, hits a super kick onto Miz, laying him out. He grabs Miz's phone, takes a picture of Miz, and then he grabs the mic and stuff, and then he goes ahead and FaceTimes Logan Paul. First thing Logan Paul said is, Miz, stop calling me. And Seth Rollins starts laughing. Logan turns his head at the camera and stuff. And then Seth pretty much starts talking about Jake Paul. It's probably, from last night and everything. And then telling Logan Paul to show up next week. And Logan Paul was like, okay, I accept. I'll come and show up next week. And then Seth Rollins was like, good, and you're a bitch. And hangs up on him. So yeah, that's what Miz said. That's what Seth Rollins said. And then Seth starts dancing around and stuff, about to leave out the ring. And then he sees Miz kind of like slowly getting back up, and then he gets back into the ring, hitting a curb stomp onto the Miz, laying him out. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff though. I like that segment. But yep, that's what happened there. And next week we're going to be seeing Logan Paul on Raw next week. And then after that we see Kathy Kelly interviewing Bayley and the rest of Damage Control, and Bayley was talking about how Damage Control will still walk out as the women's tag team champion. So yeah, that's what Bayley said. And then Kathy Kelly runs into the United States champion Austin Theory. Austin Theory was talking about how John Cena will be returning next week, and how he'll go up to Cena and respect him and everything, but Cena better give him the respect back. So yeah, that's what Austin Theory said. But next week on Raw, John Cena will be up there. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening. But up next, we're going to be seeing Bobby Lashley in action. Up next, and he'll be taking on Elias one-on-one. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. See you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a one-on-one match. It was Bobby Lashley versus Elias one-on-one. Now, Rick Boogs was watching this match from backstage, taking notes and all that, like Elias said. But yeah, it was an okay match. It was going back and forth and everything. Bobby Lashley was dominating the majority of this match, but then Elias starts coming back at the ending where he hit the knee to the face onto Bobby Lashley outside the ring, and then Lashley managed to pick him up, and he was trying to run Elias into the ring post, but Elias gets off his shoulders, pushing him into the ring post, throws him back into the ring, and then Elias gets hit with the flatliner by Bobby Lashley. Lashley picks Elias up, runs to the ropes, comes back with the spear onto Elias, lifts him up, and hits the locks on the Hurt Lock, making Elias tap out. So yeah, Bobby Lashley defeated Elias tonight in a one-on-one match. So yeah, for that match, I'll give it 1.5 stars. That's why I'll give that match. But then after that match ended, Bobby Lashley grabs the mic. He starts talking about Brock Lesnar and stuff. But then he starts talking about how Bray Wyatt needs to stop playing these kid games or he will get hurt and all that stuff. Don't be messing with the almighty Bobby Lashley. So yeah, that's what Bobby Lashley said. But then Lashley gets out the ring and everything, walking up the ramp, and then all of a sudden Bray Wyatt pops up on the big screen doing the Muscle Man dance. Muscle Man Bray Wyatt doing the Muscle Man dance, and we see like the graphics of Bobby Lashley being all built and stuff up there, everything like that, and just Bray Wyatt playing mind games with Bobby Lashley and all that stuff, and then Bray Wyatt pops up and says run, and then the Wyatt 6 logo pops up, and that was it. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then backstage we see Adam Pearce and Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green's complaining because she thought that Raw was going to be in Illinois last week, and Adam Pearce was like, no, there's Ottawa in Canada, and you're from Canada, so you should know that. So yeah, that's what Adam Pearce was saying. But then Carmella comes up, and Carmella was like, so you want to see me? And Adam Pearce was like, yeah, next week you got a match against Bianca Belair. And he walks away, and then Carmella and Chelsea Green was talking about how rude Adam Pearce is and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what happened there. And up next, we're going to be seeing Otis versus Johnny Gargano one-on-one. And he comes out with Maxine Dupree and Mason Mansour, the Maximum Male Models. Otis did. So yeah, Chad Gable ain't with them out there. But yep, that match will be happening up next. So yeah, see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a one-on-one match. It was Johnny Gargano versus Otis with Mansour and Maxine Dupree, the Maximum Male Models at ringside. So yeah, it was a one-on-one match between Johnny Gargano and Otis. It was an okay match. It was going back and forth and everything. Otis was taking control of this match. Johnny Gargano kept on trying to knock him off his feet and everything. At one point, we see Gargano get knocked outside of the ring, and then we see Mansour, whichever freaking one, Mace, was getting dragged over the barricade by Dexter Lumis. So yeah, Dexter Lumis tries to kidnap Mace, and then Mansour comes up trying to, grab Mace, try and bring him back over the barricade, but then Johnny Gargano lays him out with a super kick and stuff. And yeah, Dexter Lumis was dealing with them because they kept on trying to interfere in the match. Gargano gets right up to Maxine Dupree. Otis tries to grab Gargano outside the ring while he's inside the ring, and he gets kicked upside the head by Gargano. Gargano then jumps over the top rope with that nice DDT onto him, pinning him for the 3 count. So yeah, Johnny Gargano defeated Otis tonight on Monday Night Raw. That's what happened for that match. I'll give it 1.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good, okay match between Gargano and Otis. So yeah, that's what happened there. Okay stuff right there. And then after that, we see Kathy Kelly going up to interview Paul Heyman, telling Paul Heyman that Cody Rhodes will be on SmackDown this Friday, trying to confront Roman Reigns. And Paul Heyman was talking about how Cody Rhodes will not be confronting Roman Reigns, that Cody Rhodes will be confronted by the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, the head of the table, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, on SmackDown. So yeah, that's what he said. That's what's going to be happening. But up next, it'll be the main event. It will be the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Dakota Kai and Io Sky, Damage Control versus Becky Lynch and Lita in the tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships up next in the main event. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was the main event. It was the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Dakota Kai and Io Sky, with Bayley at ringside, Damage Control versus Becky Lynch and Lita in a tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. This was the main event. Now, before the match even started, we see them getting ready and everything backstage, preparing for the match and all that stuff. But yeah, we get to the match. It was a pretty good match. At the ending, we see Becky Lynch and Dakota Kai, I think, or Io Sky, one of the two, hit a double clothesline onto each other, taking each other out. And then Becky was crawling to Lita, about to tag her in. Bayley grabs one of the women's tag team titles, throws it into the ring, which distracted the referee. The referee grabs a women's tag team title and putting it up. And while he was putting it up, Bayley goes over there to the corner, pulling Lita off the ring apron and stuff, interfering. And then we see Trish Stratus make her return. She comes running out, takes down Bayley, beating her down and all that stuff, goes over there helping Lita up, onto the apron. She gets tagged in by Becky Lynch. And I forgot actually one moment where we see Becky Lynch get hit with the tag team finisher move, that double electric chair from Damage Control, but she kicked out at 2 and everything. But then Becky Lynch crawls over there, tags in Lita. Lita comes in, and Io Sky's tagged in as well. She's taking down Io, beating her down and everything. And then she was trying to climb up there on the top turnbuckle to hit the moonsault, but Io Sky pulls her off the top turnbuckle, and then Io climbs up there, jumps off with the moonsault, but Lita moves out the way, and Io crashed and burned, and then Lita picks her up, hitting the twist of fate onto her. She climbs up the top turnbuckle, but then Bayley gets on the ring apron. Trish Stratus goes over there, pulls her off the apron, and then hits the chick kick onto her, taking Bayley out. And then Dakota Kai was trying to interfere. Becky Lynch trips her on the ring apron and then locks on to disarm her on the ring apron onto Dakota Kai. And then we see Lita hitting the moonsault onto Io Sky, pinning her for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Lita and Becky Lynch defeated Dakota Kai and Io Sky Damage Control tonight in the tag team match. And they are the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. So yeah, that's what happened. Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus celebrating the victory. That's what happened there. It was an okay match. For that match, I'll give it 3.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. It was a pretty good match and everything. Match of the night for me personally was probably Chad Gable and Cody Rhodes. That match was really good right there. Go check that match out if you haven't yet. Best segment of the night, gotta go to Seth Rollins. That crap was funny. So yeah, pretty good stuff though for tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. I'll give it 7 stars, 7.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good episode. Next week's episode of Raw will be pretty good. John Cena would be returning. Seth Rollins and Logan Paul going face to face. Bianca Belair versus Carmella 1-on-1, and many more matches. So yeah, that would be next Monday. But yeah, like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, World of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Bales, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. That'll be down there in the description box. And yeah, I'll see you guys later for this Friday Night SmackDown reviews and this Wednesday's AEW Dynamite reviews. See you guys later. Until then.